off, jump back on. I'm not sure why that is.
It's been doing that here lately. I don't even see her on the board now, though. So
Okay.
she's on here because you guys are. Oh, Susan, thank you. You're the best.
I used Google Keeps at TCA for the past 2 years, and it was a lifesaver at TCA.
Yeah.
Lifesaver. But I haven't gotten to use it since then.
Okay.
So I'd like to brush up on it. And I know y'all know more things than what I discovered because I discovered it on my own.
Right.
And I figured it out on my own. Okay. But I'm sure y'all can make it even better and smoother for me than what I figured out.
Awesome. Starting to hear that. I don't know what it is. All right, Karen, we're going to cover that. Okay. So the first thing, though, that I want to show you guys that I'm going to do is I have an extension that I'm using in my browser right here, up here in the top right-hand corner. It's called Tab Resize. And what I'm going to do is click on that. And this is just like a best practice type thing. So I'm going to put the 2x2. And so that way I can still see you guys and also see kind of what I'm doing over here as well. So the things that I plan on covering is the grab image text, which is kind of what Amy was asking about with the whole putting a PDF or getting a PDF and be able to take notes on it. Then we're going to talk about collaboration and with other teachers and then students to students. And then we're going to talk about ways to organize our notes, how to use Google Keep for student feedback. And then we're going to talk about the Google Keep extension. And then Denise has also added 15 ways for students to use Google Keep. And it's a blog post, I think, from Casey Bell. And so feel free to click on that and look at that as well. And then at any time, if you have questions, either add it to the chat and Denise will stop me or ask the question or answer the question. Or if you have a question and you want to stop me, just unmute your mic and turn it back on and ask those questions because we really want you guys to get the most out of this session, okay? So I'm not really going to refer to this, the bit.ly that I gave you guys. That's this part. I'm not going to refer to this very much in the session. This is for your future reference. So like if you forget how to grab image text, you can come here and this is actually, looks like a black box, but it's a video. And so you can click on the video and the video will play and show you how to do that. And same thing with all 5 of our tips. There's videos to help you out so that if you've forgotten how to do it or you need a refresher after this, you can just go here and do that. And feel free to share that bit.ly with anybody. Not a big deal. All right. So let's get into Google Keep. And so the first thing that I wanted to show you guys is the grab image text feature, which is also what I'm going to move these over just a little bit. So I can get to, so y'all can see more of my Keep screen. Grab image text feature, that's the first thing that I found out about Google Keep when I first started using Google Keep. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So show of hands, because most of you guys have your screens where I can see how many of you have ever had a worksheet and you're like, this is a really great worksheet, but I need to make it my own and I need to add some stuff to it, or maybe I need to modify it for my GT kids or my special ed kids. How many of y'all have had that? And then you're like, but I only have a paper copy and it's going to take me forever to retype this whole thing. Okay. In comes Google Keep, which saved my life and made my heart so happy. So first of all, what you'll need to know is that it's easiest to do this part on the app on your phone. So when y'all tell me if y'all can't see this, but can y'all see my Google Keep app right here on my phone? Okay, so I have that downloaded, and I have a personal Keep, and I have a professional Keep. And when you're in the Google Keep app, you can toggle back and forth. So if you ever take a picture of something, and you're like, I know it's there, but you're on your Google Keep on your desktop, you probably put it in your personal account. So just check that out. So what I did, and I did it a little bit earlier to save us some time, is I took a picture of, sorry, I just unpinned that. I didn't mean to do that. I took a picture of this worksheet right here that I needed to make for one of my classes, food science classes, right? And so I want to do this, but I need to give the kids a little bit more guidance on how I want that to actually look and what I want them to write and give them a little bit more. So I've got this picture. So this is seriously what I did is I took my phone, and there was the picture was laying right here, and I took a picture of it in my Google Keep app. It immediately uploaded it into my Keep on my desktop, right? And so right here, you click on these 3 little dots that say more, and you click grab image text. And as soon as I did that, what I come up with down here are all of my questions, or everything that was typed. Now, it works if I wanted to do this note right here where I was reminding myself some things that I needed to talk about in an earlier class. I could take a picture of this, and it would grab this image text. It grabs any of it. Now, if it's handwritten, make sure that it grabbed it correctly, because if it grabs mine, it most of the time can read it. If it grabs my husband's, we've got to make a few adjustments because he's a lefty. So he's scratch. Can't help it. We love him. We love him through it. Can it import a PDF text? You can by adding that image right there, Caesar. See where it says add image, or add image. You can turn it into, I think you can turn your PDF into an image. Okay. So so I have that, right? Now, what is that going to do for me from here? So from here, we're going to go to docs.google.com. I don't know why it's saying presentation. We're going to not do the presentation. I don't know what that is. Sorry. I thought I grabbed everything up, but apparently I didn't. We just want to go to docs. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to get a Google Doc. This is not normally how I grab a Google Doc, but this is the quickest way. So, and I'm just going to grab one because we're just getting started. So I'm going to just click on this start blank Google Doc right here. I don't advise necessarily for y'all to grab a doc from docs.google.com. Instead, go in through your drive so that way you can know exactly where you're putting that. So you take a pic with phone and then upload. Sorry, it went away.
So take a picture in the phone and then upload to Keep, or can you take the picture within the Keep app?
You take it within the Keep app, or you can take it on your phone. It doesn't matter. You can pull something from your phone as well. Okay, so most of you, if you haven't used Google Keep or any of the extra things on the side panel, your Google Doc probably looks like this. You can't see it. Does everybody see down here in the bottom where you see that little, it says show side panel, and it's the little caret facing left or pointing left? Okay, when you click on that, your side panel pulls up. And so you can use any of these, but today we're talking Google Keep, so I'm just going to cover Google Keep. So I'm going to click right here on Google Keep, and it's going to open up all of my Google Keep notes that I have. Thank you, Denise, for answering that question. So I have my Keep notes right here. And so here's the picture that I took, right? And I just want this. So I'm gonna open that up where I can pull off all of these. We're just gonna pull off through 23. I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna paste it in here. Now, what Google Keep does not do, it's taking a second, but it'll come up in just a second. Okay, what Google Keep does not do, as we can see, it does not keep format. It does not keep images like these lines. If this had color coding on it, it would not keep the color coding. Okay, so yes, is there still some work to be done on this worksheet to make it a true worksheet? There is, but can it work? It absolutely can, okay? Makes sense? Questions on the Google Keep app and grab image text. You can unmute your mic if you want.
So Jena?
Uh-huh.
So basically, what is Google Keep? What's good for besides doing this? What's the use of Google Keep?
We're going to keep going through all of those things, but I use it in my personal life, Caesar. I have a Google Keep that I have made a checkbox on, and I've got my 12-year-old daughter and my husband on it, and anytime they need something for groceries, they have to go to Google Keep and type it in. And then when I go to the grocery store, I have my Google Keep app up, and as soon as I pick it, I can check off the checkbox, and I get my groceries that way. It's really an organizational type thing. And I'm actually, towards the end, I actually am going to show you the way that my daughter uses Google Keep. She's using it a little bit different now that we're in distance learning, but I've got her account open too, so I can kind of show you how at least a seventh grader is using it to help keep herself organized during this time.
So it's like a sticky note kind of thing?
Yes, do sticky note on steroids.
All right, thanks.
And I'll show you why here in just a minute. Hold on, Camille. What do you? I think I missed part of it. Okay, so cool. So you can share a Keep with specific people. Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so next on our collaborate. So let's look at collaboration. So I'm going back to my Keep app, and I'm gonna Keep, and I'm gonna look here. So when Denise and I decided that we were going to start working on this Google Keep class, I started this note, and then I added Denise as a collaborator. So I just put in right here, collaborator, and then we started taking down ideas. So yes, you can add as many people as you want on here. I will also show you guys one of the things that I do with one of my teachers over at North Mesquite. She started a collaboration note called Jena Quest, and anytime she has questions for me, she asks them on here, and then I go in and answer them for her. So just a quick way. It's almost. She says she likes this way better, and she deletes things when she's done with them. She likes this way better, though, because she doesn't have to go, oh, what was that email called that Jena sent me that information in, and now I need to figure it out. Where is it at? She can just come here, and she finds it here. Okay. Caesar, you also asked about some other ways. So, and Katie talked about this, too. She talked about how she used it with TCEA. I also used it with TCEA. And so every time I took a picture, or every time there was a slide, I would take a picture, and I just kept them all here in my Google Keep, right? And then I did the grab image text. And so here's everything that was in that presentation. And so then I've taken this and I put it into a presentation of my own, so that way I could remember everything. So I used it also to take quick notes. So if you're in PL sessions and they're not sharing their presentation, you can take a picture and then you can make the presentation again, so that way you have it to refer back to for your information. So and it made it so much nicer. I don't know if y'all have ever been to big conventions where like you're expected to take notes and stuff, right? And so you have to have your big old backpack with your computer and maybe a notebook and a pen and all that stuff. I felt pretty free at TCEA because I walked around with a messenger purse and my cell phone, because I took all of my notes on my cell phone, because all I had to do was take pictures, and then I could go back and refer to it later to get it more in depth if I needed it more in depth. Another thing on the app, which I'm sorry, I should have showed y'all this a while ago, and I didn't. I can also take, and when y'all tell me if y'all can't see this bottom part, please. There's a check mark, there's like a little pen, and then there's like a microphone. I can click on this microphone, so I can go into my Keep class with me and Denise, and I can click add, and then I can click a recording. Hey, Denise, will you check slide 3, please? And now when Denise and or I look at our Keep, it's downloading right now. Here it is. If it plays for me. And you can also download that audio as well if you want. I think my computer's being a little bit slow, but basically this is my recording. Hey, Denise, will you check? It says, will you text by 3, please? But really it's, will you check slide 3, please? And so you have that recording on here as well. And so that's another way that I was taking those notes. So as soon as I would get out of a session, I would start my recorder, and I would record anything that I remembered from it that I wanted to keep in my head.
Hey, Jena, here's a question I'm not sure about.
Okay.
If you share the note with a group of students, can they delete stuff from it? Or
yes.
if they delete, can you go back and see revision history?
I do not believe there is a way to see revision history. They could have changed it, but I don't think so. And yes, it's completely 100% collaborative. I've never really used it with my students, me being the teacher as a student and using it with them collaboratively. When I was in the classroom, I would have students start a keep note with each other. Like if they were in a group and they were working together, I would have them start a keep note together and then add me as a collaborator just so I could see their thoughts, their thought process. But I was never in charge of the keep. I was just added on so I could see. And the reason, I mean, I don't want to police that. Like, if something's going on with, if Denise and I are students and she keeps deleting my ideas, like that's between those two students, and I'll help them mediate it, but I'm not going to sit and police it. So, yeah, you have to share the note, and they can. That's 100%. They can collaborate. Yep. Okay, so then let's go to what was my thing that I was talking about? Sorry, collaboration. Okay, so then we kind of talked about students with students just now. Really using that to let them work out a system, and I'm going to go a little bit out of order because I'm going to help you. I'm going to help it make a little bit more sense when I do this. So like if we have students collaborating together, Denise and I are collaborating together, and let's say that we've made all of these ideas and now we're like, okay, now we've got to make that presentation. How are we going to do that? I can click right here and click show checkboxes. And then now I have checkboxes for everything, right? And so I made the slides for Google Keep so I can click on Keep App. Now, if Denise has this Keep pulled up also, she could click on something and it would go down here to the bottom on completed tasks. And so then we would know that those tasks have been completed and this is all that we have. So see, she just did remind me. So we can go through and keep it in real time. And I can even, if I don't have access to my computer, I can be doing this on my phone. And again, it's all 100% synced and in real time. So as soon as we get through those things, we're done with them and we can keep moving. So that's also how we do these to-do lists, right? So here is my to-do list that I've been working on. These are the things that I've been working on and that I still need to finish doing. I need to go watch the Ditch That Textbook webinar and also the Britannica Pear Deck webinar. But I've completed all of these things. And if you're like me and you're a list person, man, this makes my heart happy. And how many of y'all like, I will come in here and say, keep webinar. And I'm doing it right now, right? So I can go ahead and check that off because now I have 8 completed and now I really feel productive. This is kind of what, I mean, it may just be me, but it makes my heart happy when I have more down here than I do up top. It makes me feel productive. So now the one fallback I would say the one fallback is that you can't necessarily, Keep is not like Drive in the fact that you have all these little folders that you can put everything in, but you have these labels. And so this is how you can keep yourself, organized, right? So when I want to see any of my TCEA things, I can click on this label of TCEA and all of the things that I've been working on with TCEA are right there. Now, I went to a whole lot more than this, but I've already used the stuff that I needed, and I didn't need to keep it on my keep, so I've taken it off. But here's all these things, and then that's the other thing. So some of my teammates were like, "Oh, I didn't get that slide. Ooh, I didn't get that," and so I can add them here. So then they have the slides as well, and you can add anybody. So this is Selena from our team, and then this is my buddy Craig from Garland ISD. He wanted to be added in on it, so he's added in on it. So you can add anybody. It's not specific to just our domain. And I did that with labels. So how did I do that? So I'm going to make this one a label because this is all about Google Keep, right? So I'm going to click on More, Add Label, and I don't have the label that I want, so I'm going to add it here, Keep. And I'm going to click Create Keep. And now I have Keep right over here. And notice that it's labeled right there, Keep. Now, last time I did this, it worked. We're going to see if it worked again because I don't know how many of y'all are really avid Google users, but Google likes to change things up And like a couple weeks ago, somebody was asking me something about Google Classroom, and I was like, oh yeah, you go there. I was on the phone with them. I'm like, go there, go there, go there. And then it's right there. And they're like, no, it's not. And I'm like, yes, it is. Go there. You know, I tell them again, Jena, it's really not there. And I'm thinking, oh, they don't know. So I got in there. Google had changed it. So, but okay. So this is something to do with Google. This is one that we're going to talk about too, but this is what I was going to say. You can also hashtag and type in keep, and it'll automatically show you your label. So it's still there. Thank goodness. It's still there. So if you hashtag it and you already have one of these labels over here, it'll label it for you, and you can keep working. Okay, so you don't have to go try to click on label and do all of that. Now, it won't let you make up the label, but you can add that label. So that's one of the things that you can do as well. And let's say that I also am real big into maybe color coding. So all of my keep stuff, let's say that I want all of my keep stuff to be in yellow. I can do this, and then all of my stuff will be in yellow. So you know, there's some research studies that show that color coding things really does help your brain remember where you saw that at, or help you recall it. So there's labeling. All right, let's see. You can also do, you can add a drawing. So, and it's just like a normal Google drawing. So when I click here, it's going to open up so that I can do I can draw whatever I need to draw. So let's say that I was learning how to draw a heart. I don't know. Clearly, I don't know how to draw, but I have that, and I can click back over here, and my heart drawing will be there as well. Okay, so you can add a drawing. So if you're taking notes and you want to sketch note it, you can sketch note it and keep it in there. You can make a copy, and so this is good if like Denise and I are working on this together and collaborating, but she thinks that, oh, Jena might be done with it and get rid of it. If she makes a copy, then she'll be able to have it. Okay, and then we can we can uncheck all items, or we can delete all checked items. You can hide your check boxes, or you can copy it to your Google Docs. Okay. You can also do remind me. You can set up reminders. So I can remind myself whenever, like I can pick a date and time, and what I'll get is a notification saying, hey, don't forget to go work on this. So like on Friday mornings, I have a reminder set up on my personal Google Keep to remind me to tell my husband and my daughter that if there's anything else you want on that grocery list, you better get it in by noon today, because I'm ordering groceries, or here lately, I'm going today at 4 to go pick up those groceries. So you better get them all into me, because I'm not making multiple trips to the grocery store.
So can this be connected to Google Calendar as well?
You know what? I've never even looked to see if it connects to Google Calendar. I'm not positive of that, Caesar. I'll look into that in just a minute and let you know. That's a good question. Let me write that down.
So this is like a personal assistant, this Google Keep.
Yeah, it very well. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Here's another thing. So we're all in distance learning, right? And so kids are turning in things constantly, and you're having to provide feedback. And we all know that feedback does not equal a grade. That's a grade. Feedback is like, you did good. We need you to do more of this. We need you to do something different with that. And you probably get tired of writing the same exact things all the time. And it's the same. You're basically like 5 or 6 different things all the time, right? I used Bitmojis, but you can use whatever you want. And by the way, this sidebar, it works on Google Slides as well. It's not just a Google Doc thing. I think it's even in Google Sheets. So if I click on here, I can come over here, and let's say that I need to tell them that they've done quality content. I can click copy image, and I can click on the comments, add a comment. This worked yesterday. We'll see if it works today. Paste that in, and it's not going to work today. Okay, so I can just put it in right here as well. I can paste that in. so that they know that and this is me giving them that feedback. Okay, so yes, it does, Caesar. It integrates into Google Calendar. Thank you for checking, Denise. I've never even paid attention to that. I don't know why. I use Google Calendar like it's going out of style too. That's the only thing that's keeping me sane here lately. So I don't know how I hadn't noticed it. But or in your Google Keep over here, you can write in sentences over here, right? Come on up. With the things that you want to say, like make sure you use complete sentences. I had to walk away and miss something. Okay. Denise will help you with that. Okay. So right here, so now I have this in. So if I come back over here and that's something that I want to use, I can click on add the comment, and then I can come right here, open this up, copy it, and paste it in here, and then I've only had to write it one time. And then I can just click comment, and it'll be there for the student. Okay, so good way to also provide that feedback without having to type over and over the same things. Let's see, we talked about, pinning a note. Because Google Keep, again, like I told you guys, it does not have folders that you can put them in, but you need the things that you're going to use all the time pinned. So right now, because I'm using all of this stuff for Google Keep, what I've done is pin them all with the little pin right here. So down here are my other notes. And let's say that this needs to be pinned. I just hover over it, and there's that little pin, and so I click it. And so what that does is it brings it back up here to the top for me so that I can get to it when I need it. And then you just unclick it to unpin it. So that's one way to keep the things that are important. So like after I get done with the Keep session, I'll unpin all of this, and the only thing that will stay pinned is my to-do list. Grab image text, we talked about that. Add collaborators, we showed that. Ways to use it in the classroom with students. So now I'm going to scoot over and show you my daughter's Google Keep and kind of talk to y'all a little bit about that. Okay, so my daughter's in 7th grade, and she's made it just a little bit different for her now that she's in distance learning. And so what she does is she has them all color coded, and they're all color coded by this as well. On this as well, you just can't see it. But so she has, she's got to do athletics workout. Now, what she normally does here in Google Keep is she'll take all of her notes for her class. She'll pull it up in her Chromebook, and she'll take all of her notes on her class for Texas history here. But now that she doesn't really have a whole lot of note taking that she has to do quickly, it looks like she's just adding what she needs to get done in here. So that way she knows that she can get all those things done. It looks like she needs to be working on math. But she doesn't like her mama has her all this information. And then she has her chore chart up here, her chore chart that she has to get done. And so what she will do is she would have all of her notes here, and then she would go into her drive and go into Spanish if that's where she was taking her notes. And so here's her notes that she pulls this up and she pulls them over, and she'll start taking her notes down and rewrite and like pull them from Google Keep right here and put them in here so that she can keep up with all of her notes and things. It looks like she started cleaning out. Maybe she thinks she's already done for the end of the school year. But that's how she does it. So yes, it's redundant, but that's the way that she learns best. And so she will continue. She does that so that way she sees it more than once when she's going through and working on things. She has to see it more than once, and she interacts with it more. She really likes the interactive notes and being able to look at things more than once. All right, and then the other thing that I wanted to show you guys is the Google Keep extension right here. So let's say that we're in Texas history and we want to learn about the Texas Revolution, right? So I found some websites that I really want to go over, and I used this as a teacher to help me start planning the classes that I taught. I had to do all of my lesson plans. There were no plans that were given to me. I had TEKS, that's what I had. And so I had to find things. So like, let's say that this is one website that I really think I can find some information in, and I need to take some notes on it. What you can do is you pull up where you want it, and you click on this Keep app, or Keep extension, excuse me. It's taking a minute for this website to download. Okay, so I clicked on the Keep app, and here's my website, and then I can start taking notes. As I'm going through this, I can take notes, and I can pull things out and copy it and add it in here to these notes. Sorry, it's going in. My Wi-Fi's being finicky. But as I go through and do that, what's going to happen is down here, you'll see right here is my keep notes, right, over Texas. So that it automatically puts all of those things and what you've written, or it gets your website and the notes that you've written on your website all go into a Google Keep, right? And so I also could have, if I was, let's say I was doing something for math, right? I could have, because I have that math label right there, I could have hashtagged it math, and then it will label it for me. It's being finicky. My internet's being finicky, guys. I'm sorry. So this is a great way to have, when your students are doing research, you can have them do research this way, so that they keep it with them, and they can go back and look at it, and then they can add you as a collaborator, so you can see where they're doing their research from or getting their research from.
Yeah, it's great to make the little research cards. Have separate sites for that.
How can you guys see using Google Keep in your classrooms? Or how do y'all plan on using this?
Jena, can you share a label with the teacher?
I don't think you can share the whole label. You have to actually come in here and then add them as the collaborator here.
Okay.
There was a Chrome extension called, hold on one second, let me find it. And I think that there was a way to do it, but it wasn't. It was an extension that had you doing it. See if it's like keep color tabs, keep. My internet's just running really slow today. Google category tabs. I think that this is the one that you can use, and it keeps them in categories for you and color codes them for you. And I think that you can share those. So y'all see up here at the top where it has all, and then shopping is all in green, or family and work and to do are all in different colors. And I think this is the one. I could be wrong. I'll have to look into it, and I can add that to the either the slide deck or to the agenda when I figure that out for you guys, if y'all are wanting to know. But there's one way. There's a way, but it was kind of convoluted. It wasn't straight from Google Keep. And now that I'm not in the classroom, I use Keep solely for selfish professional reasons, not to share with students and stuff. So, but how else do y'all see Google Keep as being beneficial in your role? I saw that Amy said that she could do, it went across the screen, and then I don't have the chat staying up. So I can use this when I attend conferences in lieu of a notebook. And yeah, it makes things so much easier, more mobile. One way to teach students to be organized. Yeah, and you know what, Leanne? I didn't even teach Reagan that. She came in one day and she saw me using it, and she's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Show me this." And then she went up there and did all of that. I'm fortunate. I have like a top A daughter who needs everything in order. So posting project ideas and steps, yeah, that's really great too, Camille. What else can I show you guys? For brainstorming, yeah. Go ahead.
Some of the things that Casey Bell mentioned were like using them for vocabulary, student vocabulary. They can draw pictures of it. They can add the word. They can add a definition to those things and help with the vocabulary list. Thinking about spelling lists that you could share with your kids. I love the setting goals for students, having them set their goals and leaving it there, and they could share those with you. It really adds to that student agency as well.
Yeah. I got to ask, where do the archives go? The archive is kind of like your Google Classroom archive. You can always pull them back out, but Google Keep also has that option of just being able to trash it. And just like Gmail does, it keeps them for, I think it's like 30 days or something like that, and then they get pulled out of the trash. But archiving, you just drop them here. So, and that helps so that you don't get so convoluted. I just usually, if I don't archive very many notes or keep notes, because if I use them and after I get done doing this coaching future ready schools and make all my notes on that I want to make on it, I just trash it, because then I already have a different document that I'm working off of. So I usually just trash them. I don't keep them. But yeah, just archive, so that way you don't have all of this if you don't want all of this. I did talk to y'all about color coding. This is one of the ways I color coded this, because I don't want it up there all the time. But when I do any kind of social media, because I'm part of Northside Pride, I want to be able to add their hashtags. And so my team and we have this Google Keep note with all of our hashtags on it, so that way we can get to those quicker. And I'm not having to retype them in every time when I go into social media.
So can you merge the Keep notes? And it does pull in the text and pictures in a Google Docs, right? Not all pictures.
When converting a note to a doc, will move the text and the pictures. It will not. It's weird. The pictures, you have to copy and paste them over. And like if you're talking about like a picture that's in like a worksheet, and then it has like an image, like let's say it has the ecology, like some ecology cycle or whatever that is, it won't move that over. You'll need to take a screenshot of that and then pull that over. Like if you're on a MacBook, it's a screenshot. If you're on a PC, it's a snip. You use the snipping tool. And if you're on a Chromebook, it's Control Shift and the button above the number 6. That will take the screenshot for you. So what does it drop into that one folder with no labels anymore? Are you talking about, Camille, are you talking about for archiving, it drops it into the one archive folder without any labels? The labels will, the label will stay on there, but it won't, like if I have Keep and I put some of them in archive, the only ones that I'm going to see when I click on this Keep are the ones that I have out here. It won't show me the archive Keep ones. I don't, what do you mean, can you merge Keep notes? Like, what do you mean by that?
So it looked like you had multiple Keep notes on the same topic. If later you're like, I don't want this section in Keep, I want to merge it all into one document, is there an easy, quick way to just merge all those into one doc?
Just copy and paste.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you're in Google Docs and just open your Keep and just drag them all over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another, if you don't want to keep it in Keep, if you want to move it over to Google Docs, you can do it that way. Actually, that's some of what I was doing. I just haven't ever finished with my TCA stuff. Is I've got a Google slide deck that I put all of my Keep stuff in, or all of my TCA stuff in, and I would just move over and then type and finish it. I just haven't done those last 4 classes. What else can I help you guys with? It doesn't have to be Keep related either. It can be, I mean, if y'all have any questions as far as Google, the G Suite, anything like that. What's up, Kate?
Okay, real quick. You see two screens because I played around with the extension and I lost the page that had the original meets on, and now I'm doing. So I can't find that anymore. So I'm playing with the tab guys.
You're cutting out, Katie.
Yeah,
I know.
okay. So
If you could pick out the picture, pick me out. Pick the picture, the one that you see the picture, that person out. I don't know where that tab is.
the picture tab,
No,
Well,
I'm doing me.
this one.
Do you see my image, the one with the actual picture? Because there's two of me.
There are 2 of you, but one of you. There's 2 things, but there's your picture, and then there's your.
Right.
It looks just like this.
The picture out. I have no idea where that screen.
I can't kick you out. I would love to, but I can't.
Somebody kick me out.
I don't think we can.
We can't kick you out because we're not the owners of this meet.
Awesome. I'm going to keep echoing it. Great. I have no idea where that page went. I
What?
did. That's why
what
you did with me.
I don't know, Katie. I'm not.
I don't know where the screen went. I played around with the extension.
Only you, Katie. Only.
I know.
What other questions can I answer for you? Can I answer for you guys, or can Denise answer for you? I'm really secondary, and I think with a secondary brain, but Denise is elementary, and she's got that. She's a pro at elementary stuff, so I'm glad to be working with her. So she keeps me grounded as far as I'm trying to say things, and then she's like, no, like that doesn't work for elementary. So that's pretty much the end of our presentation. But y'all are. I'm here. We're scheduled to be here until 4. We don't have to be, but we are. So if y'all have other questions on things, we can.
Till 3.
That's what I meant, 3. Sorry. I kept thinking today. I kept saying that this class was happening at 3, so it just stuck in my head. We're here until 3. Sorry. 3. So if y'all have any other questions about anything Google related, our Leanne is also on here unless she's about to jet. She's an instructional tech coach too, and she's middle school and elementary, right? So.
Well, one question.
Uh-huh.
So the way your daughter used it is she had those sticky notes for every class. When she clicks on the sticky note, it takes her to the Google Docs, or?
No. So her sticky notes down here are all she does is it helps her when she goes into her drive and she goes into, like, let's say she goes into her Spanish class. She can pull it from here to put it in, to put her Spanish information in. So she'll be able to pull it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a question about your grocery list.
Okay.
So if one of your family members adds something to the list, is it stuck at the bottom or can you rearrange it into categories?
For sure, you can rearrange those. You can move them around. So even if I'm looking at like here, I've never done it on the computer. I always do it on my phone, but see the dots right here? This is what's going to make it move up and down.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of my daughter stuff gets put at the bottom because, like, I don't know why you think you need 60 command strips, but that's probably not going to happen this go around. We're going to go ahead and stop recording